Hello, welcome to a new episode of Geek Lunch Me. I'm your host Chris, as usual. In this episode, I thought I would just do a bit of a news update. There's some trailers and some news been released. I've got some other videos that will be coming up shortly. Some more Star Wars collectible videos, things like that. I hope to get them posted within the next week. I just need to edit them up. Apologies, no video last week. I was on holiday, went to Rome, and then we had the Easter holiday. So just trying to do catch ups. I thought I wanted to get a video out today. So I thought I'd do a quick news catch up, and then we'll get back to some more sort of collecting and bits and pieces in future. And don't forget, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up, helps us out a great deal, gets the video seen. And if you haven't already subscribed, why not mash that subscribe button? We would absolutely love to have you here at the channel. So the first bit of news, we got a trailer for the Adventure Brothers movie. I am a huge Adventure Brothers fan. I have been waiting for this. They announced they were going to be doing a movie quite a while ago. Funnily enough, I was just thinking about it the other day, thinking that we have not had any news, which if you're a Adventure Brothers fan, you'll know isn't really surprising. It does take them sort of a while to get things done. But yes, we have got the trailer. If you're not familiar with the Adventure Brothers, it's a cartoon series started in 2003. Since then, so it's been 20 years. We've only actually had 7 seasons. The creators, Doc Hammer and Jackson Public, they do a lot of it themselves. They write it all and design it all, and it takes time. It's a sort of running joke that amongst the fans that everyone's always asking when's the next series coming out. And usually when you get a new season, it's usually only about sort of 7 or 8 episodes. Then they go on for 20 minutes each, and then you have to wait years and years for the next lot. We are finally getting the movie. Radiant is the blood of the baboon heart, it's called, in typical bizarre fashion. Adventure Brothers, you can get them all 7 seasons on DVD and Blu-ray. It's on Adult Swim, so if it's on whatever country you're in, whatever TV station that shows it, if you've not seen it, it's bizarre, it's hilarious. We only get very few episodes, but because of that, it's that sort of it's all killer no filler. You don't end up with people. Usually with shows, people will say, season 3 dips a bit, or I didn't like that storyline. It's all gold. You've got Dr. Rusty Venture, who was a boy adventurer, like a Johnny Quest type thing. He's grown up. He's a miserable, cantankerous scientist. You've got his sons Hank and Dean, and his bodyguard Brock, voiced by Patrick Warburton. It's absolutely superb. He's got an arch nemesis, the Mighty Monarch, and his henchman or hench lady, Dr. Girlfriend. And it's just there's Star Wars references. It's basically whatever Doc Hammer and Jackson Public, whatever they fancy. It's all of their interest, 80s pop music and things like that. David Bowie turns up in sort of the first seasons. As I say, lots of Star Wars references, lots of superhero references. You've got Dr. Orpheus, who is basically like Doctor Strange. There's a guy who only hunts Blackulas, the black Draculas, who's basically Blade. It's all it's every sort of mashup. But done so well. Some of it is quite adult orientated. Some of the gags and things, especially when Sergeant Hatred turns up in later seasons. There's a lot of some very dodgy things to do with his past. But I can't recommend it enough. And to say, Radiant is the blood of the baboon heart is coming. It just says coming soon. It should be this year. It was J.G. Thirlwell, the composer, was I saw posted it on Facebook. Again, his music absolutely makes a series as well. You can get 2 volumes of the music on CD. Old school, but I couldn't find it on Spotify. Fantastic. Adventure Brothers, can't recommend it enough. So we're looking forward to that. I'll put a link to the trailer in the description below, as always. Then we got some news, sort of some non-news really. The Russo brothers, who gave us the Captain America movies and obviously Infinity War and Endgame, have turned their attentions Battle of the Planets, the cartoon from the late 70s. There's a video up where I look at the live action film that was done in Japan some years back. Yeah, they're looking at doing a live action project. It's this. I think they announced it before. I think I remember them announcing it, and then I probably forgot all about it. It was a while back. They sort of did an update to say that it is still going forward. I think they're still only in these scripting stages, and they still haven't even decided whether or not it will be a movie or a series, or as is usual these days, trying to build a universe since Marvel did it, so they can try and hang lots of things on it. But yeah, big fan of Battle of the Planets. So I would love to see a big budget remake, live action of that. So yeah, and Russo brothers, they've done some good stuff. So yeah, that will come hopefully eventually in the pipeline. Probably not for a few more years. We then got the trailer a little while ago for Donnie Yen's new film, Sakra. He stars in it and directs it as well. It's an adaptation of the book Demigods and Semi-Devils, apparently. It's already been out, I think, in China earlier in the year. I couldn't find a date for it over here. Hopefully it will get a release at cinema. Possibly it might only go to some art house cinemas and then just end up coming to Blu-ray, or some of that will go to streaming. It's a wuxia movie. Big fan. It's the Chinese martial arts, all the wire work and that sort of thing. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon being obviously a massive example of the genre. And Donnie Yen, I absolutely love Donnie Yen to bits. John Wick 4, he was in most recently. Rogue One, the Star Wars movie, he was absolutely fantastic in. I'd like to see some more of him like that. And obviously the Ip Man movies are great. His martial arts, his skills are fantastic. I think some of the reviews have said the fight scenes are good. So the rest of the film, it is a bit iffy, but that's sort of part of the course of a lot of these things. I'd love to see Donnie Yen in action. Yes, I say that's Sakra. That's called. Not entirely sure when it's coming out in the UK, but we'll keep an eye on that. We also got a sort of animated announcement trailer for Godzilla Kong, the new Empire. We knew a new Godzilla movie was coming after the last Godzilla versus Kong. This is Godzilla Kong with the X in the middle, which, I think that's pretty, the youth of today can explain it more. I think it usually means it's a collaboration. So I'm assuming they're teaming up like they did at the end of the film against Mecha Godzilla. So we get this sort of strange animated trailer, which then appears to show both their skulls at the end, and then a close up of what looks like some sort of ape. And could just be the lighting. It looks like it's got orangey fur like an orangutan, but then its eyes glow a bit like with Godzilla's nuclear fire. Is it some sort of hybrid? Have the two of them got it on and given birth to some strange monkey reptile hybrid? Who knows? We'll find out not till next year. Adam Wingard is directing. He directed Godzilla vs. Kong. I wasn't massively blown away with that. I like the previous Godzilla movie, and then I don't like it when they do that thing where you at the end of Godzilla King of the Monsters, you had all the other Titans bowing down to him, and then in the opening credits of Godzilla vs. Kong, you just get a little bit of sort of text to say that then Godzilla just killed them all. And then they just sort of take the story from there, which was annoying. And then just trying to shoehorn in like Millie Bobby Brown's character and sort of that from the previous film, even though didn't affect the plot in the slightest. It was a shame. So hopefully. He does a better job. I'll say on Godzilla Kong, the new Empire, not to be confused with the Apple TV series. We're also getting set in the MonsterVerse as well, with the legend that is Kurt Russell and his son Wyatt Russell, last seen in Falcon and Winter Soldier as the US agent. That's coming later in the year to Apple TV. No more news on that yet. I imagine we should get a trailer in the next couple of months. I'm sure I read somewhere they're in post-production on it. So lots of Godzilla and Kong stuff coming our way. I must admit, I am a huge, massive Godzilla fan, but of the MonsterVerse films, Kong Skull Island is for me easily the best one. The sort of post-Vietnam setting, the cast, just the action, just the comic book style, absolutely superb. I've enjoyed the Godzilla movies. Just say not as much as Kong, but yeah, be interesting to see what we've got going forward. We also got finally. It seems like I've been talking about this. I think since I started the channel several years ago. Gremlins: Secrets of the Mogwai, the animated show, is finally coming next month, May. Should be with us shortly. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of the animation style. It's a prequel. It's set years before. Presumably we'll get maybe some origins of the Mogwai. The cast looks fantastic. Ning Na Wen, the legend. James Hong from Big Trouble in China, amongst other things. Well, obviously, Everything Everywhere All at Once, most recently. B.D. Wong, Sandra Oh, Randall Park, and George Takei. So pretty much, who's who of Asian cinema. I hope I know it looks like it's aimed at kids, but hopefully, have some of the mean-spirited fun of the original Joe Dante film, which is an absolute favourite of mine. Gets watched every Christmas without fail. But yeah, so Gremlins: Secrets of the Mogwai is finally coming. It's coming to Max, which was HBO Max. I think they've dropped the HBO. They're now just known as Max in the States. Here in the UK, that tends to mean, because we don't get the channel here, it could go any number of ways. It might end up on some of their stuff ends up on Disney Plus. I think some of it ends up on Netflix. A lot of it ends up on like Sky Atlantic or one of those channels. So who knows who's picking that up here in the UK? But yeah, we'll see what we get there. That's pretty much it. News-wise, things that we've seen so far. Mando finished season 3. I know a lot of people have been disappointed with the season. It's certainly disjointed, and sort of the focus shifts mainly to Bo-Katan rather than Din Djarin. They do a lot of stuff that I didn't like. The fact that at the end of season 2, obviously where he takes his helmet off and sort of pretty much seemed to have abandoned the creed of that part, the Children of the Watch Mandos. But then they did that funny thing where they brought Grogu back when they hijacked the sort of final episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, and it becomes sort of Mando 2.5 and reunited him with Grogu. There's rumor that they didn't want to do that, and that Disney forced that on them and said, no, Grogu is so popular, we need him back in this series. I don't know how much truth there is in that. He doesn't do a lot this season. It's got to be said. He's sort of in the background character, not doing much sort of until sort of the last couple of episodes. So it makes me wonder there might be some truth there. But then they immediately go back to Mando becoming part of the sort of the tribe again and keeping his helmet on. So it's the first season we don't see him, Pedro Pascal at all. I don't think a lot. I think for what I gather, majority of it is shot with the two with his two stunt doubles, and he just does a voiceover, which is good work if you can get it. But it's a shame. I'd like to have seen him sort of abandon the creed, especially because then the creed, they sort of do what they want with it, because Bo-Katan, who obviously always took her helmet off and wasn't any part of that, she then goes swimming in the waters in the waters of Mandalore, which then means then she can become part of the tribe again. So then she keeps her helmet on, but then the armorer then just says to her, "Oh, you can take your helmet off if you want, and you can go and reunite all the tribes." And it's sort of like, well, if they're being that wishy-washy with it, then let Mando take his helmet off as well, so we can see Pedro Pascal. They do some strange stuff. The final episode, there was lots of rumours, as is always on the internet. What's going to happen? The armourer being a spy, Axe Woves being a spy, and was going to betray them. The obvious thing, that we'd seen the Mythosaur, and that they had said the ruler of Mandalore would come in riding on a Mythosaur. So there's lots of excitement. Is Bo-Katan or Din, or even some people had said Grogu, come riding in on this massive beast to save the day. Obviously, none of these things happened. Would Admiral Thrawn turn up, who we'd seen a little bit of in the Ahsoka trailer that showed the Star Wars Celebration? No, none of these things. It all just sort of finished off all 3 seasons. It feels very much like it's done, which is odd. Jon Favreau has already said season 4 was written. So it'd be interesting to see, and it sort of ends up with Mando as this sort of gun for hire working for the New Republic if they want it. Very much like the Rangers of the New Republic show that they were going to do, which was going to be sort of Gina Carano's vehicle. It appeared until she sort of crashed and sort of burnt her bridges with her social media tirades. So yeah, it looks like they're maybe still going that way, and having Mando as part of it. Obviously, we've got Ahsoka coming up. We've got Skeleton Crew, the Acolyte, and then say maybe it's going to be a while then until we get Mando season 4, and then we're going to get Dave Filoni's movie that's going to tie it all together. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, Mando. It was a sort of, the ending was fine to a okay series. It just didn't do a lot of the stuff, a lot of the promise of season 2. Sort of didn't really pay off. But Ahsoka, the Ahsoka trailer, they showed a celebration that we talked about a few weeks ago. I mean, that looks fantastic and very much a sort of Rebels, the animated show, almost like a live action version of that, as it appears to have all of them in it. And Grand Admiral Thrawn obviously making his live action debut after all those years. Back in Heir to the Empire, back in the was it the early 90s, I think it was, when it was published. So yeah, Ahsoka is coming in August, isn't it? So we've got a few months to wait on that. We have got May the 4th is Star Wars Visions. Actually, yes, we had the trailer for that, didn't we? Which looks absolutely fantastic. There's a Aardman Animations one that looks great. Lots of different animation styles from all over the world. So yeah, that I enjoyed. There was the first season. There were some highlights and some bits I wasn't that bothered about. The style of this one looks even better. So yeah, that's coming out on May the 4th. A couple of weeks, what we got? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is coming to finish off their story, promising lots of emotion and some few tears maybe watching that one. That's in, I think it's just 2 weeks time, so I'll go and watch that and give you a review when we get there. That's enough of my ramblings for the moment. There'll be a few videos coming up probably during the week with some more Star Wars collectibles and bits and bobs. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Take care. Until next time, eat geek and be merry.